Hi, I'm Bill Donohue, President of the Catholic League. Joining me today is Mike McDonald. He's our Director of Communications. Today, we want to talk about basically what it comes down to is a veiled threat against Jewish New Yorkers. This is very serious. You have a Palestinian activist who is associated with Mamdani's wife, who has come out and basically put Jews on notice. She says, moderate Jews, you better learn, because you got to get your people who are critical of Mamdani in line. Otherwise, this may not end very well. Well, what is it? What does that mean? It's not going to end well. I think we understand what that means. That's a veiled threat.
Yeah, and very reprehensible. I mean, there's to specifically target one group of people because of their religion, their ethnicity is wrong. But this isn't the first time for either one of these people,
No.
right? The wife, Mamdani's wife, she's celebrated October 7th. She's reposted people on Twitter. She's said that this was a good thing. This was
It was spectacular.
spectacular,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, exactly. That's horrible to say. You have that over 1,000 people murdered, and that's spectacular. I can think of a lot of words, but not spectacular.
Now, Mamdani has said that when this woman, who's the Palestinian activist, who his wife has done illustrations for in a book, so there's an association there. He has said that it's reprehensible for her to use words like calling Jews parasites and ghouls and demons and the like. And that's good. But the question is this: why is Mamdani drawn into this controversy in the first place? Because of his wife and the association with this Palestinian activist, and for the comments that he has made, his wife has made, and the Palestinian activists have made. Now, they may not use words such as parasites and demons and vampires. That's the word of the Palestinian activist, the friend. But nonetheless, they're feeding this incendiary kind of atmosphere by constantly talking about Jews and Israel in a negative sense. And at some point, that does seep through into the minds of others.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're right. He did come out and condemn her for calling Jewish people parasites and vampires and all those terrible things. But he's been a little muted on this instance, hasn't he? He hasn't really come out and said, "Oh, I wouldn't threaten Jewish people like that," because it politically supports him, right? You've got people that are critical of him for a lot of reasons to be critical of Mamdani. We go over these every day.
Well, we have Hans Piker, who's one of his friends, who says that we deserve 9/11.
Yeah.
He's endorsed people. It's not like as if, we're not talking about McCarthyism here, guilt by association. We're talking about people who he's appointed to his transition team, his inauguration team, in his administration now, and the people whom he's backed as candidates, who say that the United States is an effing disgrace, that I want to eradicate Western civilization, and the like. I mean, when you constantly use every opportunity, he couldn't even talk about St. Patrick's Day without slamming Jews. So that's the thing. When you have this kind of inflammatory situation because of his language and the people that he's associated with, that creates the conditions where, listen, we have a lot of troubled people walking the streets of New York.
Yeah.
They hear this kind of language, and you hear people say, Jews had better watch out. It may not end nicely. It's
just
feeding
recently
that.
there was that stabbing.
Yeah.
The Jewish guy was
Right.
stabbed. I mean, an Asian guy was stabbed with him, but
Right.
you got some crazy guys stabbing people, and one of the reasons he gave was, "Oh, I hate Jews."
Yeah, Ali Akbar. Yeah.
That's a big problem. So it's
Right,
not just theoretical. This is actually happening.
Yeah, I just hope people understand that language has consequences. We're not talking about a throwaway line that somebody might have had. We're talking about over and over again. And the associations that you have, you might always have some right-wing nut or left-wing nut who's associated with a group. We understand that. And you can't condemn the group because of that. But when the people you appoint, the people you associate with, people in your family and the like, they're all pretty much of one strike, then you've got a problem.
Yeah.
Thanks so much.